Welcome to a Focus Learning interview. This interview is with Monika Kezaite, and Monika lives in Lithuania and is since many years a trainer on national level, but also in the European youth work field. One of the expertises of Monika is the one-to-one relationship between the youth worker and the young person. Together with Mark Taylor, she is the author of the publication One-to-One, which is available on the YouthSpace website. You can find the link on our website. And she is also part of the trainers team that offers the training course One-to-One, supporting learning face-to-face. We are very happy to have her here to look at some questions concerning one-to-one relationships in youth work and how they relate to learning in youth work. And by the way, my name is Paul Kloosterman. Welcome, Monika.
Hello.
Let's go into this immediately. What makes the one-to-one relationship in youth work different or special when you compare it to working with a group? Can you say something about that?
Yes, I was thinking different from what? You know, because there are many one-to-one relationships. There are different types of different purposes of one-to-one relationships. But if there's a difference between, if you make the difference between the learning in group and learning in one-to-one, it's definitely in youth work for me. There's definitely more place for let's say reflection of what is happening in the group and individualized reflection. So while the group is a place for activity as such, for experience together, maybe with common group reflection, the one-to-one is the place to really create your personal meaning of what that youth work experience or activity has to do with you. So it's special because it is always tailored to that person, and it's for the things that you would not share with the group maybe at certain stages of the group, and it's individualized support for your learning. So it's something that will help you to understand what the learning is happening with you and with the group as well. So for me, it's always accompanying process next to the learning in group. I would say, if we are looking for the differences between the group learning and one-to-one learning.
Yeah, and I think what you said, it might also be easier for a young person to express certain kind of things, no? that you don't express in a group.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think one-to-one relationship is something that is necessary, I would say, in that way that it's necessary in terms of inclusion, because not all the young people find themselves easily, participating in the group or on the activities. And to be included, you need to maybe a special process next to this, or to feel included. And I think that's one of the main benefits of one-to-one happening next to the group process, let's say.
So that means also that I think that it's often the initiative of the youth worker at a certain moment to start a one-to-one relationship. No? If you see somebody that you think, maybe that person needs a little bit more attention, then
I think the first thing of all the things is to notice.
Yeah.
To notice people who would need additional attention and to be ready to provide one. I think that's one of the things that should be in the youth workers' eyesight, I would say, and in the agenda, that I'm not only delivering the project or the activities that I'm supposed to do, but I'm also keeping an eye on the group and on the individuals in the group. And I'm ready to maybe support those who are needing more, I don't know, time, effort, or some other kind of support to be a part of the project activities or the group activities. Yes.
But do you think, because if I'm thinking about most youth work situation, then it's not often not a planned thing. No, it's not like, I know training courses, for instance, where there is mentor talks and there's that's planned in. I think in youth work, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't have the feeling that there is a kind of planned individual learning process which is planned with talks with the youth worker. Or should it be, or what do you think?
I think it can be both ways. It depends on the project or what you do. Yeah, like what you say, that some projects they have a, you know, one-to-one planned a part of it. But if we are speaking about this youth work that doesn't have this kind of structured ways to support it, then I think it's not planned. I think it's not planned from both. I think from both sides. It cannot be planned from the youth worker, but also sometimes young people approach themselves, you know, because they are looking up for the group leaders or for the youth workers as resourceful people to support them. Yeah.
But then, of course, you have to create also as a youth worker a kind of relationship with the group, or anyway that it's clear for young person. Well, we can go to that youth work if we have something. Yeah. I think that because it should be.
It is about, I think it is about being open and being available. So it's not only noticing, but I'm there and not just, you know, I notice what is happening in the group or what is happening in the people, but I'm also ready and open to be in contact or to be approached. And this is already, I think, influences the whole role of the youth worker, that I'm a part of the group, not an observer of the group, that I'm, you know, it kind of changes your role, how you are approaching that group of young people and how available and approachable you are.
Yeah, I'm thinking now, because what we're talking about now, I think is often about situations where a young person doesn't feel well or has a personal thing that she cannot talk about in the group, and then, but if we make the step to to this project where the focus is on learning, which is not immediately connected to problematic things, it's how, when talking about learning in youth work, where do you see the specific role then of this one-to-one relationship?
I think it lies also about this individualized learning, and it's especially important in the non-formal learning context, because there's no curriculum that you have to follow. There's always a personal story behind that, that's something that the person wants to learn, not only about the, you know, the topic of the activity or, I don't know, the whole context, but there's always the personal goals and personal learning aims that the person might have. So only personally and individually you can approach, and especially the obstacles to it. So if I'm, for example, problematic, not in a way that, you know, have some I don't know, some bigger problems, or you know, I'm not saying about, you know, dysfunctions and things like that, and only individual way, I think we can really help to overcome those obstacles. So what is actually an obstacle for you to learn this or learn that, or to be more confident, and to be more, if the person wants to be, for example, more speaking in the group, like more public speaking and things like that, but he cannot do it during that you know, project or group experience. In one-to-one, you're exploring those obstacles and exploring those things. So what is hindering your goal? And I think this is one of the things, the most important things here, because it is always individualized learning. There's no program what the, the young person needs to learn.
Yeah.
That you can like in schools compare and check.
No.
The youth work activities, what they do, they only offer the potential for some learning results, but what the person is learning it's always up to the person, and one-to-one can help to make more meaning out of that learning experience.
Yeah. And I can also imagine, because it's of course true, there is not a pathway that everybody follows in non-formal learning, but also means for young people that they have to recognize or to decide for themselves what they want to learn, which is often not easy. No, it's not that young people, in general, I think young people don't go to a youth work project and think, oh yeah, because I want to learn this, and this.
No.
And so when it comes to learning, I can imagine that also the one-to-one can help young people to think about, well, what do I want to learn, or maybe do I want to learn, or
yes, I think, and it is an extra effort for the youth worker to help to look at the experience through the learning lens, because young people, they go to an experience and they just want to experience it. And I think it's not only young people, we also sometimes do it. I want to go there and I want to just simply be in it, and it is an extra effort. I think I would call it like mindset. It's like you have to you can kind of structure it, or not structure it, but you can look at it like you can manage something. Because when it's like very general, we are just in it, and then if we want to put it into a learning, we need to look at it in a bit more I cannot find the word, manageable, tangible way. Tangible, I think that the tangibility of what has happened to you. I remember once from my one-to-one, I have been mentoring volunteers several years ago, and there was a girl who came back after her service in another country, volunteer service in another country, and then we were in this one-to-one, and then we were in a very good relationship, and then I was say, so how you can transfer all what you have done into your life? And she says, well, because she was working with children in a kindergarten or something like that, and she says, well, I don't know, because I'm not planning to work with children for my career. She says, so I really don't know how to transfer it. And then I would say, but there are many things that happen to you while working with children, some qualities, some things, some experience that you can transfer into this. And we had an amazing process to really find out what she has been doing, I would say horizontally during that service, what has happened with her, so she can transfer, and then she put it into her CVs and things like that, and I think that's the role of the youth worker, to really look into experience, not through the eyes that automatically see that experience, in that way. So she was, so how to put that experience into her life, and how to take out the learning out of it. She learned it, but she did not realize it, that she learned those things.
I'm thinking now that well, it's a nice bridge to maybe the last part of this conversation, and that's about what are the competences you need as a youth worker, because you say, okay, I did that conversation, but what was your role, and what is important? What are important skills or insights or whatever you need as a youth worker to be able to have, let's say, good conversations on this one-to-one level? What do you see as the competencies there?
Well, in our one-to-one training, we have the model that says that the essence of your one-to-one in youth work is the relationship that you have with this young person. So all the competencies that are helping you, or that skills that helping you to build the relationship, maybe not only with the young people that you primarily like. Mm-hmm. So I think this is the professionality, or this is the competence that you build the relationship with the person, which is not, you know, this is not likable for you, or like not like there's no chemistry from the very first point. So and we say that for that relationship, that we need two main things: is curiosity, be curious and be open, and also be non-judgmental. And we practice a lot this non-judgmental attitude. How can you look at the experience as I would say objectively as you can, and that helps to build this relationship with the young person. So once you have that relationship, this is essential. Then you can really speak, and people open up, and then you can really even maybe provoke a little bit the young person, you know, to look at other things. But there has to be some ground, and this relationship is the ground, and so the competences that are required for this relationship are I would say essential to this, because then you can use lots of methods and tricks and so, but that will not be very I would say I don't know what's the word, that will not be I think real contact
no. I see that. No, and then I think I've been doing an interview a few years ago with a youth worker, and who said one of the most important things in youth work, and one of the most difficult things, is asking questions. And well, I remember also in the publication there is a chapter about that. No, that asking questions that's quite or asking questions is not challenging, but asking questions in such a way that it helps the young person. That is
well, questioning and not questioning, but that's exactly not what you have to do, not the questioning, but asking questions, listening, or ability or skills to provide the feedback, or things like that. I think just those skills that are needed. But if you're really curious, the questions, they come themselves. Once I was like then I was in my own training, I did the supervision training, and then we were like, so what do we ask for the client? What is that? How do we say this to this person? And our facilitator was saying, but how do you say someone else that you love them? Just you say the same. Just be curious, be there, be in the contact, be present, and just what comes. You know, you just share it. Of course, the whole knowledge, or the whole competence about how learning works, like, you know, this the main principles of the youth work, things have definitely, they have to be in your background. But once you are in the contact, be curious, try not to judge what the person is sharing, don't try to put in any kind of drawers what the things, just be there. And then I think it just follows. These are the bases. And of course, these skills like active listening and asking questions and empathy as such, be empathetic, be there. It just goes into this. I think it goes into that part.
Yeah. In a way, I hear you saying it's nice with all these technical things about open and closed questions, but the basic is to be really interested. And being really curious about the young person and what you say, and not to be judgmental. And then you'll probably ask the right questions. No, it's like being when you had a nice conversation with the person in a bar. It's probably because then you also had this interest and you were curious, and well, then the good questions come.
Yes, but it sounds simple. It sounds simple, but it's not that simple, because when it's easy for me to be curious when I first time meet the person, but it's not so easy to be curious when I'm meeting this person for the 10th or the 10th time.
No.
And when I already know that person, and to be curious and be really, it's not that easy. So I think it's a really like a professional competence to be able to do it, to be curious, even if you know this person.
Yeah. No, and then of course it goes back to what you said before. Then it's important first to build a relationship in which that is possible. Okay. Well, I think we touched some interesting points here. Anyway, it's clear that I think it's very clear that for learning, this individual relationship is in a way very crucial. No? That you need that attention, the individual attention to help young people to recognize learning, to plan learning, to reflect on learning. That individual relationship, the one-to-one relationship, adds a lot to what already happens in the group, and but because that's of course also important. But what young people in their peer learning do, but then this individual relationship helps a lot.
Yeah,
Monika, thank you very much. And it was a nice talk. I enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you, Paul.
Thank you.